There are many Christians that are very prayerful, but they have no results. And this is another reason why. I'm getting this point from Hebrews 12, verse 1. This is what it says, that wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us. Now, my point is coming from these two, weights and sins. Now, I want to talk about that for just a minute. You see, there's a difference between a weight and a sin. How I understand what a weight is, the weight is not necessarily a sin, but it's like a landmine that is waiting for you to make a mistake before it blows off and destroys your destiny. These may not be necessarily sins in themselves. Let me give you an example of what I consider a weight. Anger, fear, maybe a loose mouth, are unhealthy relationships. Now, in them, they are not really sins in themselves, but they have the capacity of putting you in a situation that might destroy your destiny. A good example I can give is anger. Numbers 20:11, where God had told Moses that speak to the rock and water will come out, but Moses, because of anger, he struck the rock and water came out of that rock. Now, that is actually the main reason why Moses did not make it to the promised land. He disobeyed God because of anger. You see, these weights they're like landmines. They're just waiting for you to make a mistake, a wrong move. It's just like a matter of time before it blows up and it will destroy your destiny. I had a story of a lady. There's a time she was pregnant and expecting a child, and then something small happened that made her get so angry. She was so angry, she spoke so many things, and after a week after that time, she ended up getting a miscarriage. Like, it had happened like 3 times. Every time she's expecting, anger something would just piss her off and she would go off. Like, it would open up a door for the enemy to do something against her that she did not want. So I consider that as weights. They are not sin in themselves, but then they have the potential of destroying your destiny. That's one of the reasons why many people are prayerful. Many Christians are prayerful, but they're not seeing results in their prayer life because they're carrying on certain things that are short-circuiting them from them achieving their results. It could be anger, it could be fear to do certain moves. Maybe God wants you to go certain places, do certain things, but you are so scared you can't make that step, and that fear is killing your faith to make the moves, and without faith you cannot actually please God. Or it could be friends, and the reason why you're probably not achieving your results or the results in your prayer life is simply because the people you are in, they are kind of limiting you from achieving your potential or the things that you're praying for. It could be environments like Lot. Lot just was in the wrong place, and because of that, he lost everything he had, even his own wife. So weights may not be sins in themselves, but there are weaknesses that you need to deal with as soon as you recognize them. And if you don't recognize weights, you are in big trouble. One of the things you need to pray for is for God to show you what weaknesses you have that might limit you from achieving the results in your prayer life. The second point on this is sin, as we have seen from Hebrews 12, verse 1, that weights and sin. So the next second point is sin. Now, we all know what sins are. Sins are simply a violation of God's laws, principles, or instructions. Now, when you sin, you're actually teaming up with the enemy to short-charge your destiny. You're giving power to Satan in order to destroy you. I think it is Romans 8:23 that says that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. You see, when you sin, it's like you're hiding yourself from God. You're separating yourself away from God. And that simply limits you from achieving your destiny. That makes it hard for you to receive the results, for you to see results in your prayer life. We see one of the reasons why the Israelites took 40 years in the wilderness instead of 2 weeks was because of sin. It took them longer. A journey that would have taken them about 2 weeks, it took them 40 years. That means that there are some Christians right now, you have not yet seen your destiny or seen the fruitfulness of your prayer life because of certain sins that you're holding on to. It's Proverbs 28 verse 9, which says that if anyone turns a deaf ear to my instructions, then their prayers are detestable. Like, your prayers are detestable unto God if you turn your deaf ear unto his instructions. That means a person that is walking in disobedience in God's desire, God's will, that person's prayers are kind of having a limitation in being answered. That sin is giving access to the enemy to use that as a way of making sure you do not receive your results. A good example could be simple lies. I've seen Christians who are very spiritual and prayerful, but then here and there, when they're put into a certain situation that is uncomfortable, they will end up lying because they want to come out of that situation. They don't keep their words. They're not honest in their words, so they keep saying they will do this and they won't do it. Or simple things like stealing may come in a simple way, like corruption, maybe in your workplace, or it could simply be dishonesty at workplace. Maybe you come late, but you say you come early. There are certain signatures you're making that you're not supposed to be making, certain deals you're making that are not supposed to be making. There could be simple, small things that may look ignorable. Like for me as a graphic designer, there are ways where some people can bring in documents and they want us to fake documents. These small things have a possibility of frustrating your life because you're giving access to the enemy to actually make a dent in the results you're getting from God, from the blessings of God, from the blessings that the Lord is sending unto you. You're putting a dent into them every time you're entertaining sin. But then you can be asking, but how can I overcome sin? It is simple. Submit unto God, resist the devil, and he will flee. One of the ways we overcome sin is simply by submitting ourselves unto God, putting our attention and affection unto him. You see, when you build a relationship with God, sin will become minimal. Every time you are coming close to God, the things that are not of him will befall off. God is like fire. It's like the sun. When you come close to the sun, there are certain things that will melt and fall out. When you put silver into fire, it will burn out every form of impurities. That is how God is. Every time you come close to him, when you intentionally build a relationship with God, there are impurities in you that will die. Those impurities include sin. Some of those impurities also include weight. These things here will die every time you choose to intentionally build a healthy relationship with God. If this message blessed you, I want you to like, subscribe, but also share to someone whom you think this message might be a blessing to. Please watch out for the next point. I have many points why many people are prayerful, but they're not seeing results. So see you in the next one.